Hello everyone, I'm going to be ranking all 13 November 2021 movies I saw. Before I get started, sorry I've not been posting in a while. I've just been busy with school and yeah, so yeah. So with the schedule for today, we have my November 2021 movies ranked in a tier list. Belfast movie review, Chucky episode 8 review, Dove Wimpkid the cartoon movie review, and The Matrix movie review for anticipation of The Matrix Resurrections. But further ado, let's get started with the first movie on our November list, which is Bruised. Now, Bruised was an okay movie. I don't think it was amazing, perfect, fantastic. I just think it was just a down the road okay movie. So for my placement of Bruised, I'm going to be putting it on the okay tier. I think it's an okay movie. Halle Berry did a decent job with this movie, and she acted decent in this movie. But it was a decent movie. But it's okay. Next up is Clifford the Big Red Dog, and surprisingly, I'm going to be putting it on the good tier. I was really surprised by this movie. I did not know that I was going to enjoy this movie by what I enjoyed it out of, but it was just a really enjoyable movie that I had fun with. The CGI was a bit wonky though, but the movie, I think, did a solid job, and I'm not the target audience for this movie, but it does not mean I think it is an enjoyable movie. I think it still is an enjoyable movie. Next up, we have Eternals. Now, Eternals for me is going on the good tier. It's not great, awesome for me, unfortunately, but I think it's a good movie. I did enjoy Eternals. I think it was a decent movie that I saw. There was a bit disappointment the characters didn't get enough story to the characters, so I didn't really understand why they were there or what their purpose of being there was. The end credit scenes were quite cool. I don't know if I could spoil it or not, but I won't. If you haven't seen it yet, by Eternals, I think it's a really good movie that I enjoyed. And yeah, I think people should definitely give this movie a watch. I know it's probably not the best out of Phase 4 of the MCU. For me, my favourite Phase 4 movie and slash TV is Shang-Chi, so it's kind of obvious. But Eternals, I think it did a decent job, and I think it's enjoyable. Next up was Finch with Tom Hanks. I think it's a good movie. We have a lot of good movies this month. With Finch, I think it did a good job. I think Tom Hanks did a good job acting in this movie. I was surprised by how good I enjoyed it. I think it was a good movie that I had a fun time watching. I think it did a good job. Some of the story didn't really land it that perfectly, but I can just dust it away. Well, not really, but Tom Hanks' performance is probably my favourite in this movie. He's probably my favourite character in this movie, even though he's probably the only character, including the dog and the robot. But I think Finch is a good movie that I think people should definitely watch. It's on Apple TV Plus if people still have that. Next up, we have Home Sweet Home Alone. Now, if you have not seen my review, this is going on the bad tier for me. It's not on the awful, but it's on the bad tier. Home Sweet Home Alone, that's just ruined my childhood of Home Alone. I played literally all the original, well, not all the original, but I played some of the original songs from the movie. Just ruined it for me. It's got nothing to do with Archie Yates and the two villains in this movie. I think, well, they call them villains. I think those three characters did a good job in this movie. It's probably the story didn't really land that perfectly, and Archie Yates, who plays, I forgot what his name was, he wasn't even the main character. The two villains, if you call them villains, were the main characters, which is a little bit weird, but Rightio. Next up is King Richard. This movie was absolutely on the awesome tier. King Richard, I love this movie. King Richard, fantastic. I think Will Smith is definitely going to get an Oscar for his performance in King Richard, and I think this movie could be a nomination for Best Picture because this movie was outstanding. If you have not seen this movie, definitely give this movie a watch. This movie was just absolutely fantastic. Probably one of my favourite movies of the year. Well, in top 20. It's like my number 20, but still, out of 169 movies, that's quite good. But I think King Richard, I think it's a very fantastic film. Very fantastic film that I just had a blast with, and people should definitely give this movie a watch. Next up, we have Last Night in Soho. I'm gonna put this on the great tier. Last Night in Soho, I think this movie is a really good movie. I know people will probably say, oh, this is fantastic, awesome. Or people are like, oh, yeah, nah, this is not good, this is bad. But for me, I think it's just a great movie. I was surprised by how good I enjoyed this movie. I was really skeptical walking into this movie. I thought I was going to absolutely hate it. But I'm really surprised by how I liked it. It was a decent movie, and I think, yeah, it was just really enjoyable and really fun movie that I just really had a blast with. And yeah, Last Night in Soho, I think Edgar Wright, who directed this movie, did a fantastic job directing this movie. And cast Anna Taylor-Joy and Thomasin McKenzie did a fantastic job. Especially like Thomasin McKenzie's performance. I think she did a fantastic job in this movie. As well as Anna Taylor-Joy, and Matt. And what was his name? Doctor Who guy. He was great. I forgot Matt. His name was Matt. In real life, I forgot what his. Anyway, next up is Love Hard. Now, Love Hard is going on the good tier for me. This was really surprising for me. I did not know that Love Hard could be good. I was actually kind of skeptical walking into this. I was like, is it going to be bad? Is it going to be good? It was good. I think this movie does have potential of being a good Christmas movie. Well, it is a good Christmas movie, but it's a good movie that I just absolutely had a blast with. And people should definitely give this movie a watch if you have not seen it. But Love Hard, I just had a blast with it, and yeah, I think it's a good movie. But yeah, I think people should definitely watch Love Hard. Next up, we have Red Notice. You know, people are probably not going to agree with me, but I'm going on the awesome tier for Red Notice. Red Notice was... It's my top 10 favourite movies of 2021. I think this movie was awesome. I love the cast in this movie. The direction was fantastic. The story to this movie was absolutely fantastic. Yeah, I really did enjoy this movie. I think it did really good, this movie. And if people have not seen this movie, definitely check it out. It's on Netflix for free. Well, if you have to pay for the subscription for Netflix, but it's free if you have Netflix. But Red Notice it's a great movie, an awesome movie. I just really enjoyed my time with Red Notice, and I think people should definitely give Red Notice a watch because you have Dwayne Johnson, Ryan Reynolds, and Gal Gadot. So fantastic cast. Next up, we have The Harder They Fall. Yeah, this is going on the great tier for me. I think The Harder They Fall was an absolutely great film. I love the cast in this film. I think the cast was fantastic. This is a fantastic cast that myself loved. You got Jonathan Majors in this movie, Lakeith Stanfield, I think he is in here. Idris Elba, Zazie Beetz. I forgot who else was in this movie, but I really did enjoy this Western movie. I think this movie was a really enjoyable movie that I enjoyed. The Harder They Fall was just a really enjoyable film great film that people should definitely watch. And yeah, I think people should definitely give The Harder They Fall a watch. I think the direction cast was fantastic. The story did a really good job in this movie. And yeah, next up we have The Power of the Dog. Yeah, this is going on the awesome tier for me. 3 awesome movies in November, wow. But yeah, The Power of the Dog, I think this movie was an absolutely awesome movie. This is definitely going to be an Oscar contender, as well as King Richard. 2 Oscar contenders in November, that's good. But I really did enjoy this movie. I think it is really enjoyable and a fun movie that I just enjoyed. And yeah, it was filmed in New Zealand, if you didn't know. And it has a great cast like Jesse Plemons, Barack Obama, Benedict Cumberbatch, and Kirsten Dunst. I think they all do a fantastic job in this movie, and I just really enjoy The Power of the Dog. I think it's a great Western movie that I just enjoy. But yeah, people should definitely watch this movie if you have not seen it, because it is just a blast and a really enjoyable movie. Next up, we have Tick Tick Boom. And for Tick Tick Boom, this got on the great tier for me. Tick Tick Boom was a great film. I really did enjoy my time with Tick Tick Boom. I think it did a fantastic job. Yeah, like I said, Tick Tick Boom, probably going to be an Oscar contender. 3 Oscar contenders and 1 in November. That's pretty good. But Tick Tick Boom it's a great movie. Andrew Garfield did a fantastic job in this movie. But yeah, I really did enjoy this movie. I think the direction by Lin-Manuel Miranda, I think he's probably going to get an Oscar, an Oscar mention, or an Oscar contender or nomination for Best Director for Tick Tick Boom. But yeah, I really did enjoy Tick Tick Boom. I think this movie did a fantastic job. And yeah, last but not least, we have Venom, Let There Be Carnage. Now, Venom Let There Be Carnage is going on the good tier. Now, I'm quite late to this movie because we didn't get it till November 25th. And America and all that got it like October 1st or something, I can't remember. But Venom Let There Be Carnage, I think this movie is a good movie. I think it's better than the original. I've already done a 10-minute review of this movie, so I'm just gonna, do a little bit of talking about what I thought. Some of the characters probably need a bit more story to them, but I still enjoy them on the screen. I enjoyed this movie. I think this movie did a good job, and yeah, that's all I can say. Venom Let There Be Carnage, if you have not seen it, definitely give it a watch, because it's on VOD, and yeah, it was a good movie, and I enjoyed it. Now onto the ranking. Coming in at last place, and yeah, it's kind of obvious, is Home Sweet Home Alone with number 13. 12 is Bruised. 11 at the bottom of the good is Finch. And number 10 we have Clifford, the Big Red Dog. Followed by Love Hard at number 9. 8 we have Venom. And 7 at the top of the good is Eternals, known to the great. Now, at number 6 we have Last Night in Soho. 5 we have The Harder They Fall. On the top of great is Tick Tick Boom. Honestly awesome. Number 3, this is sad, King Richard. I still bloody enjoy this movie. I think it did a fantastic job. Second is The Power of the Dog, of course. And number 1 is Red Notice. Red Notice was my favourite movie of November. What a surprise. Yeah, I just really bloody enjoyed Red Notice. I think it was a great movie, and I just had a blast watching. And yeah, so let's just number them off. So 13 we have Home Sweet Home Alone. 12 we have Bruised. 11 we have Finch. 10 we have Clifford the Big Red Dog. 9 we have Love Hard. 8 we have Venom Let There Be Carnage. 7 we have Eternals. 6 we have Last Night in Soho. 5 we have The Harder They Fall. 4 we have Tick Tick Boom. 3 we have King Richard. 2 we have The Power of the Dog. And 1 we have Red Notice. Cannot wait to do my December tier list, because we have a good chunk of movies. We've got Spider-Man No Way Home. Already got my ticket for the movie. Cannot wait. We've got Don't Look Up. We got Encanto, because it came out in America in November. I can't. I have to wait to Ghostbusters till next month. What else do we have? We have predominantly movies. We have Cobra Kai season 4 on December 31st, so that's exciting. I probably got a binge watch, so like what I always do. But is there any movies that I'm thinking of that? I've got a new season of The Witcher season 2. I mean, The Power of the Dog, which came out already, but I've already seen it. Being the Ricardos. Oh, Scene 2. I might see that, I don't know. Or The Matrix Resurrections. Don't Look Up. Unfortunately, I won't be seeing The Tragedy of Macbeth because it doesn't come out in my country. And The Lost Daughter. So we do have some good movies coming out this month. And of course, Spider-Man No Way Home, which can't wait. But yeah, that is it. Hope you enjoyed my ranking of all 13 November movies I watched, ranked in a tier list. Hope you enjoyed it. Please subscribe to my channel, it'll be a big help. Thank you for watching. Take care.